ecosystem.
Is that a huge civilization that's down there or in there?
Yeah, it's big. It's a lot of people.
And when we go through the ascension and go through this shift, will we remain on the surface or will we join them in interior Earth?
We'll be down in interior Earth in various crystal cities that have been set aside for us in Agartha.
Will that be because our ecosystems have failed altogether, or it's just a more desirable place?
It's just more desirable. They'll be changing the surface of this planet back to its original size and shape. And as a result, if we were on the surface, we would be in a major difficulties because of the amount of volcanism, earthquakes, and major tsunamis that would cause us to not have a very successful civilization. Plus, there'd be super hurricanes and super tornadoes and all kinds of stuff that would not be very conducive to human life on the surface. So they'll even have to remove a lot of animals as well as ourselves from the surface area because it's going to be pretty dangerous up there.
Well, as we know, we're already experiencing increases in activity with tsunamis and earthquakes, and look at our active hurricane seasons and the size of the storms. But I want to ask you this. Do you think that human consciousness is playing a role in diverting these otherwise catastrophic events? Because think about, even in the last 6 months, we've had some pretty big things happen, but yet there's been no real loss of life. And I think that's very telling, isn't it?
Right. It's part of it. We are part of this process. They are helping, but also we are helping by showing our intentions, by getting together into worldwide meditation groups or intentional groups and helping the process along by adding that energy, our energy, to the whole process of changing this thing around. And we have been quite successful as they have, and they're very much wanting to give us blessings and thank yous for what we are doing to prove to the world and prove to the entire of galactic humanity that we are indeed becoming more conscious and that we indeed understand our responsibilities as far as Mother Earth goes and also the responsibilities we have with each other, which is very important.
Well, Sheldon, we as the quote-unquote grassroots people clamoring for contact, while they recognize the government are the ones, quote-unquote, in charge, they've proven in the past to be very unreliable and ineffective in our mutual quest for advancement. Is humanity at a point of revolution against all of its governing agencies if they don't begin to disclose even partial truth?
Well, this is something that has been happening. I've been reporting on it in my lectures. I call it the quiet revolution. There is a vast group of people, even in the bureaucracies of the planet, as well as a vast group of peoples in the military of the world, as well as a vast group of just common people that are basically, to put it simply, sick and tired of what's going on this planet, the wars, the divisions, the starvations, the poverty, everything that is just a degradation of what the human spirit should always be about. So what they are working towards, and our energies are helping, is to create a new reality. And this is something that the Federation and also Heaven is very much happy about, because that in a way is helping the whole acceleration process of what's happening with contact. So I feel that when the stuff that the Earth Allies are doing and what we're doing comes together, which should not be that much longer, then the whole process is that there will be a great change. I look at it as like the flowering of the lotus. It's an analogy.
That's a great analogy. Sheldon, too, when we're talking about finding alternative energies and back engineering and all of that, are we kind of wasting our time going to that, trying to learn about that, if in fact what you say is so that we probably won't be on the surface all that much longer, or are we talking decades from now? So we still need
No, I'm not talking decades, but what I'm saying is that we make the attempts, that we reveal the technologies that are already being utilized, that we take all the suppressed technologies that should have been part of what we are doing in our regular daily life. If all these things were there, this world would be a lot better place. So doing what we're doing to help get that out, help reveal it, help break the UFO non-disclosure thing, help bring out these technologies, help allow suppressed technologies to come out, help even those technologies that are a lot more conventional to even be developed, that's very important.
Well, if we are truly the stewards of Mother Earth, it doesn't matter whether we're the surface dwellers or interior Earth, we still have to honor her and take care of her. I would assume it would be the same in interior Earth as well as
Right.
exterior.
Right.
It's just a different set of, I mean, there's an atmosphere in there, obviously, and things that we need. You know, there's trees and mountains and birds and plants and soil. So we have to learn how to better care for all that. Is that true?
That's correct.
Okay. I also wanted to take this opportunity to have you give out some information. You go around and you do motivational speaking engagements. That's correct?
Right.
And let's give people a way to contact you if they wish to have you speak before their group, and let's talk about the books that you've written. So why don't you give out all your information?
Sure. The best thing to do would be to go to our website, www.paoweb.com. That gives you an idea of what we're doing. The best way to contact us about this is by email, which is info@paoweb.com. And if you want to do the snail mail thing, the best way to get a hold of us is P.O. Box 4975. That's P.O. Box 4975, El Dorado Hills, California, 95762. And if you want to, you can use our voicemail, which is 808-573-3110.
You did good, Sheldon, to remember all that. Sheldon, you wrote some amazing books. Have you got any books in the works now? Or are you so busy with the speaking engagements and your alerts and everything that you haven't done something else?
I haven't gotten to the writing per se, but there's a lot of ideas that they've been floating around my head about consciousness that probably be the next thing I'll be writing about.
Okay. And did they help you write the other books? They gave you the information, like I believe you said, then the poor Colleen was witness to some of the energies that were a little challenging for her to experience. They were giving you information, or were they sharing information?
Well, they would come in, and it would be like an interview, and they would dictate to you about themselves, and then I would write about it. So they would give appointed times, and they would come in, and they would explain about themselves, what they look like, who they are, where their planet was, how big it was, what its topography was like, and blah, blah, blah. What I wrote actually was like a travel guide to 22 galactic star nations.
Well, you know, I saw an interview with retired Sergeant, I think he's retired, Sergeant Clifford Stone. And one of the things he talked about, he called it the Heinz 57. He had interacted with 57 different beings. Do we know how many beings there are that we're interacting with, and are they just strictly of this galaxy?
Some have been intergalactic.
They are?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your posture on this talk about Planet X, better known as Nibiru? In Revelations, they called it Wormwood. What do you know about that?
It's a regular planet that was originally it was a battle planet that a group, which you might call our sky god people in Syrian, not in Syrian, but in Sumerian, they're called the Anunnaki, and they basically captured this particular battle planet. It had been the battle planet that destroyed the planet and created the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter about 1 million years ago, about 1,900,000 years ago. And so this world was largely left to itself and just drift in space in this little orbit. They took it over, and this is the group that created this dark reality that we've been enjoying for the last 13 millennia. So they just have been using it, and every so often they come around and they make like they're the great destroyer, but this time around it's not going to be that way. So all these predictions that people have about disasters, etc., it's not going to happen, so do not worry about it.
Well, you know, actually September 25th I'm going to have Dr. Jason Rand on my show. He wrote The Return of Planet X, so that's going to prove to be an interesting show as well, because I like to give all perspectives of
right.
this phenomena. I'm still amazed that no one is openly jumping up and down about the blatant chemtrails in our skies. Why do you think that is?
It's being suppressed. You've got to realize that the so-called mainstream media of this country is mesmerized by what they can learn and what they don't learn from their unseen secret government masters, and they pretty well run what's going on out there.